Wow. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
That was anticlimactic, wasn't it? After all that music finished,
Ooh.
just us sat here going, "Well, shit."
Yeah.
All right.
Isn't it lovely to be back? Isn't it lovely to have all of us? This is a full on. What do you call it? All of the Trekkie Let's Talk Trek people, gentlemen, together. Are we a
Squad.
squad? Okay, we're a squad of Let's Talk Trekkers.
Didn't we say it was
I seem to recall last time we discussed this, we said we were going to name ourselves an enterprise of Let's Talk Trekkers.
That's right. We're an enterprise. All four of us are here.
Enterprise.
That's an enterprise. Yes, marvelous.
And when our powers combine, etc.
So,
Captain Planet. Is that Captain Planet?
Something
Have
like
I got
that. Yeah.
before
I understood that reference.
before the frivolity begins, let's talk about the sad news today. We'll do the sad news first. So, if you are joining us, good evening. Welcome to Sunday evening in the UK. It is Let's Talk Trek, UK's #1 Star Trek show, and about an hour ago, we received the sad news that Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura in Star Trek, the original series, and multiple movies, unfortunately had passed away. And we would just like to send our thoughts and, if you believe in such things, prayers off to her family. And exactly.
It's a weird one. I personally normally don't get emotional at all about celebrities I've never really met or met in passing that pass, but I felt a deep sensation of sadness when Leonard Nimoy passed, and I couldn't explain it because I wouldn't have expected that I would feel sad, and I realised it was because how much he contributed to the culture of which I feel a part of, and Nichelle Nichols fits into that same bracket. She really does. I've got so much time and respect for not just the actress, but the character that she brought to life. And it truly is a sad day.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things with Nichelle, I'm talking, Carl, feel free to throw some comments up because you've been right.
Will do.
One of the things with Nichelle, did anyone watch the documentary about how she was an inspiration for so many in the space program? About getting women into science and into space and things. And I think it's easy to forget, especially in the United Kingdom, where it's not as the race divide has not been as
we're not as racist as America, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Without sounding horrific, but it was never as bad as it was in America. And how Nichelle essentially was one of the forerunners of equal rights in race and sexual equality and stuff like that. So,
I mean, the incredible story that Whoopi Goldberg reflected off in the Captain's DVD that came out is that she saw her on the bridge and she ran and got her mum and said that there's a black lady on the telly and she ain't no maid. She's there doing an important job. And that made up her mind, that she was going to do well. Obviously, I think she was very small at the time, but subconsciously that made up her mind that you can, no matter what society is telling you, you're supposed to be. You can actually achieve whatever you want if you put your mind to it. And this is one of the things I've always felt the most proud about being a Trekkie, was that they used to do representation so well. They were the trailblazers. On so many fronts, way ahead of their time, and Nichelle Nichols is at the head of that. So yeah, really sad.
I mean, am I right in saying that there was a story about Nichelle Nichols and equal pay?
Not one I'm aware of, I'm afraid.
Let me see.
Wasn't there an argument? I think it may have been from the other perspective. It may have been Nimoy who'd gone into bat with the producers saying that the other actors needed to be paid equal. But I'm speaking of
Walter Koenig told the story about how Leonard Nimoy fought to get Nichelle Nichols pay equality for Star Trek. Koenig says that when it came to the attention of the cast, there was a disparity in pay that George and I were getting the same pay, but the show was not getting as much, I took it to Leonard, and he took it to the front office, and they corrected that immediately.
That's so Leonard Nimoy that he would go and sort that out. He really was a Renaissance man. He was an amazing character. He really was. Quite similar to Frakes and Patrick Stewart on the set of The Next Generation. They often, especially Patrick Stewart, really fought for the rights of the crew. You know, the sound men, the filmmakers, and stuff like that, to make sure they were treated fairly.
It's been a week where quite a few of actors and actresses and celebrities have.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I've arranged something special for friend of the show, who we had the pleasure to meet, David Warner. James, would you care to tell me how many lights you see?
Well, there are 4 lights.
Yes. Very sad David Warner, who played not 1, not 2, but 3 iconic characters in Star Trek. And you know what? James and I had the pleasure of his company for probably more time than he would have. Well, no, he was comfortable with it. He was happy to chat to us. He gave us so much time for an interview. He talked to us. He was very warm. He was very generous. He couldn't have been nicer, could he? He really was such a smashing chap.
Yes, so modest.
I was fortunate enough to interview David Warner at a Destination Star Trek event. And yeah, one of the things, I'm sure you mentioned in your interview as well, is the thing that the role that we all know him from it's Chain of Command, isn't it? With
yes, Gul Madred.
Yeah, Gul Madred, was that he was sort of roped into that very last minute in acting terms, and he was just sort of let loose, and the menacing.
Yeah, he even had his lines written on the backs of pieces of set and stuff because he didn't have time to memorize them, which he doesn't mind. Again, it's like James. He was very humble, very modest. It was just a wonderful chap. I think we're going to play the interview that we did with him at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that and tell us how many lights you see.
Although, should we play the first 10 seconds of that? Because the first 10 seconds would just steer my mood up a little bit.
Okay, well, we'll do that quickly because let's lighten the mood, shall we?
Yes.
So we did preemptively ask David Warner if this was okay, and please watch out for David Warner's reaction to James's Picard because it is quite.
I think you're going to see some Academy Award-winning level acting here.
Very special.
How many lights do you see?
There are 4 lights.
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
When we asked him if it was okay if we did it, he looked at us like we were stupid. Like, well, of course it's okay. No one's ever going to see this.
No.
Also, I mean, like you say, so we unfortunately lost Nichelle Nichols today. We lost David Warner earlier this week. Bernard Cribbins.
Was he in Star Trek?
No, he wasn't. But
No.
what else wasn't he? He's in Doctor Who in a huge way, especially when Doctor Who's been good with David Tennant and ironically Peter Cushing.
Also, he was in Day of the Daleks, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Dalek Invasion Earth film back in the 60s. But I learned this morning, I didn't know he was the voice of the Tufty Club. He was Tufty. Any of you remember the Tufty Club, or is it just me? Am I the oldest one?
I think you're the oldest one, James.
All right, okay. What about Busby? Anyone remember Busby?
Please, James, tell us about the war.
Well, first of all, the Germans were very naughty and invaded Poland, and then we went and told them off and put them back in their box.
Well, we're not allowed to mention Germany today.
Yes, we are. We're very specially allowed to mention Germany.
I do have a very fond memory of Bernard Cribbins I would like to share.
Oh, what's this
Even
doing?
though it's not Star Trek related, so I'll keep it short.
Okay.
Possibly one of my earliest memories was I had a cassette player as a present, and I was given a cassette. So, children, if you're watching, This was a device whereby you put a cassette into a machine and it would read the ribbon and play audio to you. And I had the Swallows and Amazons audiobook as read by Bernard Cribbins, and he had, and most marvelous theatre voice, didn't he? He was fantastic.
Look, here is an audio cassette. Look,
James, what are you doing with that?
nothing.
Do you have a cassette player?
No.
Jeez.
Oh dear. And of course, let's not forget he was the Wombles.
But anyway, he wasn't Star Trek, and we're lighting the mood now. So, have we got some Star Trek to talk about this week? No, because there hasn't been any.
Oh, we have. We have got some Star Trek to talk about.
Have we?
We have.
Has
This is
there
what
been
you get
some
from
news?
This is what you get from missing staff meetings, boys. We'd like to say
Yeah,
that
where's your banana? Huh?
the Star Trek Prodigy video game, the one that we said would be quite fun to play, is available on multiple platforms and is now available for pre-order because I've managed to pre-order a copy of it. It's available on PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox PC, and...
So which Star Trek game is this?
The new Prodigy game.
Oh.
Which I know Carl will be excited for because his small child is into Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes.
So, yes, that game is now
one
available.
of those people with time to play games, then this may be for you.
Yes, it is out on the 14th of October, but pre-orders are now being taken, and I've pre-ordered it through a vendor called Argos.
Is he like a Scandinavian importer of goods?
Maybe. Actually, that reminds me.
Don't do it. Just don't do it, Dan.
I'm thinking he should.
You'll regret that.
I'm thinking he won't.
No, you'll regret it, not him.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. It's all good. I'm not going to mention it. We won't talk about it.
Well, we do
I
have.
mean, if you insist. I mean, why does Norway paint?
Hang on, let me fill me wine up. Hang on.
Please
Jeez.
don't, Dan.
I warned you, but no.
Why does Norway paint their ships with barcodes on the side?
Well, thank you, Dan. His connection appears to have gone. So, yeah, over to Richard and his banana.
Well, this week's banana hails from Colombia. As you can see, it's standard yellow. Oh, he's back. There we are. Right.
Can you paint a moustache on it?
The reason that there is barcodes on the side of the Norway
It's because it's a jar. So, yeah, anyway, let's talk about this.
We're supposed to be talking about Star Trek.
Has anyone from Neighbours ever been in Star Trek?
Yes.
But do you know, back in the 90s when I used to watch it, because I was a student and therefore I had to have something to fill my days up with, I do remember there was a character, I think he was called Lance, and he went to Star Trek conventions a lot. And I seem to remember him wandering around Ramsey Street quite a lot wearing a TOS uniform. Does anyone else remember that, or am I imagining it?
Sadly, I've never seen Neighbours. But here is your requested banana.
Should be there for one another.
Are you going to behave this time, Mason?
No.
Wait, look, we're going to have to talk. Look, we're going to have to start talking about Star Trek, otherwise people are going to.
Okay, so we'll talk about Star Trek.
Right, here we have from Holly, age 3's representation. No, I'd say that's fairly accurate. I've got to be honest with you. That's about right. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Season 1 there represented by I mean, I think it's a bit unfair actually, because season 1 had Lorca in it, that was very good. Season 2 had Pike in it, and there were some actually decent episodes, entirely led by Pike. So I think season 2 deserves a bit more than that.
I thoroughly enjoyed season 2.
Yeah. Whose signature?
Whose signature, Christoph? Or have I missed a previous message that would make that all very clear?
Shall we just get the punchline out the way? Someone somewhere watching this might want to know the answer.
Go on, Dan, you can do.
So the reason that Norway paints a barcode on the side of their battleships is so when they come back to port.
I was only joking. We're not going to allow that on our show.
What about the banana?
I'm in the credits of Dynasty again. What's happening?
So
Making Scandinavian! Ah!
Too late! Damn it!
we haven't had a chance since we've all four of us been together to reflect on the sad news that Destination Star Trek has been cancelled.
Haven't we? This is ages old.
Yeah, it's
not been around for a while.
It's terribly gutting. However, as usual, Riker's beard has stepped up to the mark and have arranged.
Haven't we just?
We've arranged an alternative venue for everyone who is going to go to Destination Star Trek. Literally, this venue can hold upwards of 50 people.
Well, that answers the question I had posed.
Or one trader.
We have a. Did we have a slide for it?
You produced
There
one.
used to be.
I had a slide
You
for
have
it.
to go back a little distance in the
I'll tell
library.
you what, our show, the production quality gets better and better every week.
Everybody needs good neighbor.
Whatever happened to the features?
Oh, yeah.
Used to do-
Let's do features.
Should we get James drunk? Is he still doing that?
Yeah, let's do that one.
I've got nothing prepared this week. Right, so take your Romulan crack cocaine.
There we go.
Just put a little dab on your finger like that. Take a drink of whatever you're having. And yeah, you get fizzy tongue.
What? This isn't Breaking Bad.
Now, what is Romulan cocaine made of? Is it Radox bath crystals?
No.
I'm going to hazard a guess as to no, seeing as you just sort of like put them in your mouth. And yeah.
Right, here we are. Thank you. Right,
there
so,
it is.
Oh,
seamless. So RikerCon 2 is going to be held in Ramsgate on the 1st of October. And the hotel that is hosting the RikerCon, which is the Oak Hotel, are offering a special discount over the entire weekend. When you come to book your room, you simply need to quote "Beam me up, Scotty" to achieve this this discount. A lot of the rooms have generally gone already. There's been a lot of interest. We've been trying to put the word out. But RikerCon 2 is happening. We know for a fact that there will be a quiz. And we've got a midget who's coming who's got night vision, which will be interesting. Also, we're
hold on. Go back. Rewind that. We got a what?
We've also got
We've got a
quiz. And the first ever, and this is, I'm going to land this. I've already taken steps to Ramsgate. It's
not quite, Nadim. No,
it's not quite. It's where the British left the United Kingdom to free France from the Germans. But so it's going to be our first ever short film competition. It's open to everyone. The Trekkie girls have already accepted the challenge. They're going to be entering it. The Northern Trekkies Guide are going to be in it. Riker's Beard are going to be in it. The rules are quite simple. You must produce a short Star Trek related film. It can be a reenactment of a famous scene, or it can be something original. You are not allowed to spend more than £10 on it, so it's like a Poundland budget, and it cannot be more than 2 minutes long. There will be a screening of everyone's short films. Filmmaker Gary O'Brien will be judging for the overall winner. However, I think we're probably going to have categories that we'll all vote for individually, like best special effects goes to, best sound goes to, best actor, best actress. I think that all needs to be. Yes, the girls are all doing it, Vicky. That needs to be established.
I thought they were filming that script that Sam was reading the other week.
Sam's told me they're doing something,
Right?
but I've made her aware of the rules.
Misunderstood this.
Misunderstood what?
I do apologise. When girls say they're going to send me a video, usually it's not this.
Right, so Sam's not made the rest of the Trekkie girls aware of the.
Oh dear.
Perhaps it was going to be a solo thing Sam was doing. But anyway, it's open to everyone. So just simply make yourself a short film. We'll screen it in front of filmmaker Gary O'Brien, and he will tell you how good it is. Then we'll have a quiz. Then there'll be the midget with night vision. Possibly we might have a lounge band performing for just sort of 20 minutes or something as well to break the evening up.
Oh, what about the Badger Parade?
No badgers.
No Badger
We
Parade.
can still have the parade.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So there we are, RikerCon 2. I'm excited. I know you are.
We're going to have a whole lot of fun. Particularly as for Richard and I, it's sort of 20 minutes from where we live.
Well, actually, the boss of the hotel has offered me a room for free. This saved me getting a cab home, so that's not right. Yeah.
Nice. Right, okay, well, that's RikerCon taken care of. Let's move on to another feature. You got a collectible, Carl?
I certainly have.
Oh, fantastic. Roll the credits.
Are you doing anything, Mason? Or am I queuing myself up?
Oh, you want me to actually... Yes, I was. I hastened to add work had just texted me and said, you need to get this order on by 9:30 or it won't arrive for tomorrow. So I was just pressing order on the work.
Mixing business with pleasure as always, Dan.
Never stop. You know, it is busy.
Yes, absolutely. I know about that one. Busy I was until 20 minutes before the show started. I was still working, which was when, and as much as we're trying to relighten the mood, when I saw the headline about Nichelle, I knew exactly which collectible I was going to be showing. It is one that I've shown before, but there it is. The old Beyond Uhura book. Absolutely fantastic book. And what makes it even more special for me,
with blessings and...
So
thanks.
For our viewers not from the north, by book he means a book. But I think it's obvious.
So yeah, with blessings and thanks, signed by Nichelle. And that was when I met her in 2016. in London.
Oh, that's a wicked. Oh, I love that. That's a marvelous photo. That really is great. That's a good
Those
one.
are, yes, those are this week's collectibles. They're quite simply priceless.
You look so young in that photo, Carl.
I do, don't I? Yes. Oh, those were the days. Carefree.
I met her at the same convention, actually, Carl, and I got my photo, which I haven't had time to dig out, but I got Lieutenant Uhura to use this Feinberg receiver in our picture. So this is
Excellent.
a Uhura used Feinberg receiver.
Get that out of your ear. We can get out of here. We
James,
can get DNA off that.
The depreciation you've just caused on that. Oh.
You've just contaminated the DNA.
What's Richard going to do now? Well, now when Richard tries to clone now, it's going to go all sorts of wrong, isn't it?
It's going to be like Tuvix, but with Nichelle Nichols and James Dillon. How could that go wrong?
Oh, dear. So, with the combination of the two, what would the name be? Delora.
What's Dehura?
Oh, Victoria, you are so correct.
Like a scene from The Fly. Which one though? The Jeff Goldblum one or the original black and white one, which I think was much more scary. Although it's pretty cool when Jeff Goldblum opens up his bathroom cabinet and his cock's there. Do you remember that? It's like bits of him are dropping off and he's keeping them in his little cabinet. And his dick's there.
I read a cartoon the other day where a scientist recreates the experiment and he turns around and in the pod with him is not a fly, but a Chesterfield armchair. And he then melds with the armchair and becomes upholstered. It's terribly funny. It was in Viz.
Does he get like another pair of arms?
He has all the cross stitching across the face with little buttons.
You keep finding loose change in his boxer shorts. Oh, dear.
Wow.
Oh dear. So yes,
Oh,
that's the news about Nichelle Nichols. Sorry, Carl. Coming back to your collectible, in pence, what is it now worth? Or do we change from pence to something else? Did we say another unit?
Barrowmans we use now. How many Barrowmans?
I'm not too sure I can bring myself to put the two in the same sentence, to be honest. Yeah, I can't measure something like this in Barrowmans, and it genuinely is absolutely priceless. If you want actual penny values, I believe the book, probably due to the news still being fairly breaking, you can still pick up for the absolute bargain price first hand of about 300 pence if you look in the right places. But signed like that, never going to happen.
It's got to be equivalent to about, I'd say, 50,000 Barrowmans.
Cheap at twice the price, that one, I'd say, Richard.
I think so.
Worth more if you find someone called Carl to sell it to.
Yeah. You should join a Facebook group of Carls. I bet there's like where you'll swap like stuff signed to Carl. That's where you've got a stupid name like, I don't know, Chair. You know.
Do you remember
there's got to be a market for that, hasn't there? There's got to be a market. But like a website that matches named memorabilia to buyers.
Yes, to your name, like personalised number plate.
There's a gap. I'm going to look into that. There's a gap in the market there.
Dave Gorman did this. He did a
Dave Gorman did it. Yeah,
he did a Dave Gorman party he invited everyone with Dave Gorman to a party. Dave Gorman's.
Well, that's because Dave Gorman did the Are You Dave Gorman project, where he tried to meet 54, no, was it 52? Yeah, 54 Dave Gormans, one for every card in the pack, including the Joker and the bridge rule. And he measured his distance traveled per Dave Gorman in trying to achieve it.
If you don't know who Dave Gorman is, you're a viewer for the show, you should really watch something called Dave Gorman's Google Whack Adventure. Where Dave Gorman essentially travels the world looking for people who can generate single Google searches. It's very good.
The book is much better than the show, I have to say. But getting a Google whack nowadays is pretty damn hard to get a single result.
The show only exists because Dave Gorman ran up a mountain of debt doing it.
Just a quick jump in here because it's RikerCon related and therefore takes precedence over any fun being had. So what the proprietor of the very fine hotel has said that you can have a room for the Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night for I think it's £74, which is the standard price for just a single room. But he'll let you have any room for that. So that includes the double rooms with the sea view, everything. So if you quote you basically book any room you want, quote Beam Me Up Scotty, and you'll get it for the base price. So obviously the nicer rooms are going to go first is kind of the deal there.
Don't forget the room with our bridge in it.
I don't think you can sleep there, but
we should probably book a room.
Yeah. Might be worth it.
Well, yeah. Where is Riker? So this is in Ramsgate, which is in Kent.
Careful now.
Do you know what? I love your batleth there, Dan. That's the best batleth I think that's owned by any of us. It's fantastic.
It's nice, isn't it?
Really nice.
Lovely.
But yes, RikerCon is in Ramsgate, which is in Kent. It's on the 1st of October. There will be a film competition. Last time we had it, we managed to drink them almost out of booze. They made a load of money on the books. There will be
Hopefully
drinking.
This time they'll be a little more prepared.
There will be a quiz.
Richard, you're hoping to win the wet T-shirt competition this year, I think.
Yes, I'm hoping to win the wet T-shirt competition this year. The Riker's Beard chairs, at the very least, will be there for photo opportunities to have your picture taken on the chair of the Next Generation bridge. And yeah, there we are. Run videotape.
Which one?
Oh, you had one for last time, didn't you?
Well, you can come for the day, but it really it's more of an evening event. It's not, it's not like a whole thing with vendors and sellers and stuff like that. It's more just an evening social convention.
In fairness,
everyone get together and have a good time.
In fairness, I may clear out my cupboard of crap and do like a car boot sale. So if you want to buy stuff on official.
Well, I was going to say to you guys, because we need to brainstorm a bit for content. I was going to say, could we do a bit of a bring and buy, like a swap shop meetup, and have a bit of that going on there? I think that might be a good idea.
Why don't we do like a celebrity auction and auction ourselves and this Trekkie Girls off?
No, we're not doing modern slavery again.
Why?
Sorry, say that again, Dan. Auction ourselves and the Trekkie Girls off.
Yes.
You're not auctioning Carol.
No, you can bid for her.
Hey, listen. Do you remember this?
No, because I'm not old.
What were you
we know about Carolina Hatch?
With
what we know about Carolina Hatch, would that be what we call cash in the attic?
Still waiting on those dimensions, Carol.
Well, do you know what, Alan?
But the thing is, Alan, we can't tell the Trekkie Girls that. It'll just upset them.
Actually, I think there's a challenge. If we were to auction ourselves off for charity, who would get more money? Would it be the Trekkie Girls or would it be the Let's Talk Trek Enterprise? I mean, I think once they've seen my ironing skills, there's no question that I'd drum up at least 50, possibly even 45 pence.
You do starch a mean cuff.
Okay, so I would like to talk
about using aerosol spray starch. You get a bit of residue, but it's just a lot easier. You get a nicer, evener spread.
I would like to talk about something I found for sale on the internet today, boys.
Oh, yes, go on.
This is not a banana. Oh. It is not quite Star Trek related, but indirectly, because there has been crossover episodes. Ooh.
Optimus Prime. Is this the Lego one?
It is the new Lego Optimus Prime.
Can you get it on Amazon Prime?
You can get it on Amazon Prime, and it transforms. Just want to say, it's very cool. Ooh.
It is rather
What's
cool.
that orange thing at the bottom there?
That's his energy weapon. He has that. He has a, no. Don't be rude. He has a sword, and Megatron has axe, doesn't he? For his energy weapon.
Megatron turned into a gun, which was always confusing.
No, his energy weapon. Oh, gee, have you not even seen it?
Yes. Yes.
So his hand goes and goes sucks in, and out comes his sword axe thing, and then Megatron goes, "Wah!" and then his energy weapon comes out, and they knock 10 bells out of each other.
Right.
But neither of them ever dies.
Yes, Optimus Prime dies in the saddest thing from my childhood.
Doesn't he come back?
No, he's
Doesn't
dead.
he? Oh.
No, so we're supposed to be a Star Trek show. So what happened was Hasbro, all the molds, they made quality toys. The Transformers were quality toys, and the mold they're producing so many of these Transformers, the molds had become worn out. So when they made the film, they actually gave the directors and they said, just kill them off because we need to make new molds anyway. So they actually gave them permission to kill the characters off. That's why it was such a really dark film. That's why so many characters in that got killed off, because they were so popular, the molds had become worn. So they said, just kill them off, we need to make new toys. And that's why Optimus Prime was no more.
Was that the saddest death in your childhood, though? Let's be honest.
Yeah, for me it was. Yeah.
Well, there's that horse that drowns in the swamp. That's pretty sad.
Mm.
And there's the Land Before Time. Lots of dinosaurs dying there.
Oh, and then there's Watership Down. Oh, Batman.
I don't like horses. I quite enjoy shooting rabbits.
And then don't forget, Ash Ketchum dies as well.
Don't even know what that is or who that is. Oh, that's a Pokemon. That's a Pokemon. I do know that. How do you get?
Richard, go on, get it over with.
How do you get 100 Pokemon?
Oh, sweet revenge!
How do you get 100? Your Pokemon. I'm interested to know, Dan, how is Transformers related to Star Trek? You said there was a crossover. I don't.
You did take us on a bit of a tangent.
There is a comic, I think, crossover comic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Which I'm going to find while we do it, because Nadim has rightly pointed out that apparently we're meant to be a Star Trek show. So.
Yes, this is the news that at Comic-Con in the last week or so, someone who's currently quite big in production, I think it might have been Kurtzman, confirmed that there are 2 more new Trek shows currently in active development, but he would not be drawn on what they were. It's kind of been hinted, I think the Section 31 project hasn't gone anywhere because that was being talked about 3 years ago. That was going to be Michelle Yeoh led. So speculation is rife that it might be a spin-off led by Una from Strange New Worlds.
So the screen that Dan's showing there was a 5-issue comic book done by IDW.
Yeah. Our friends at IDW, who our friend Tony Lee doesn't work for.
So they are Nadim. We were talking Star Trek.
Yeah. So
I think what we can talk about is what would we want to see? I mean, what would you be more excited to see? Would you be more excited to see a Strange New Worlds spin-off with Una, or would you want to see a Section 31 spin-off with Michelle Yeoh?
Well, the Section 31's already set up, isn't it?
No, but what do you want to see, though? Not what might happen. What do you want to see?
We're talking if you could create a new Trek show, what would you have? I know what I would go for. So we know that the crime programs, NCIS, CSI, that's something.
Yes, Alan, there it is.
It's always had a big market. So Starfleet Criminal Investigation Services, would be
do you mean kind of like the weird ones that did on DS9 with O'Brien going undercover and Bashir going undercover. Something a bit more like that.
Yeah, or like a dedicated team that investigate crimes in the Federation.
Like military police.
Like an
Temporal
NCIS type thing.
investigations. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Sort of like a Jack Reacher series in Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek Jag, or the Bill Star Trek edition.
Star Trek Get Smart.
I mean, it's
You can see it now,
it's an
can't you?
interesting idea.
Diagnosis Trek.
Adam has just booked.
Excellent, Adam. Look forward to seeing you, buddy.
Oh, Friday to Sunday. Excellent.
So I think in terms of if it was going to be a Section 31 spin-off or a Strange New Worlds spin-off, I think I would prefer to see a Strange New Worlds spin-off because Michelle Yeoh's one of my most favourite actresses in the world. I think she's absolutely wonderful, but I'm not certain there was enough in Section 31 that did with Discovery that would sell me to do a good series of it. If I were to choose a Star Trek series I want them to make, as Athena just said there, Starfleet HQ Command series, the Starfleet Academy series that never happened, that we were kind of promised. I mean, that would just be, I'd love that. I really would. I think that'd be fantastic. A Starfleet Academy series, I think, would be wonderful.
I mean, there's also the missing years. We could have the early Picard leaving the Academy, taking command of the Stargazer. The death of Jack Crusher, and a young Beverly with a very young Wares. There's other stories that are from that point. So you've got, it was touched upon that Will Riker had earned a commendation very quickly for the evacuation of the outpost, which led to the creation of Thomas Riker. So you could have bits of the early TNG. It would make quite a good sort of story because a lot of it has been touched on but never actually fully explored.
I don't know. I want to say yes, but I'm kind of a bit.
I don't think I do.
I'm a bit fed up of Star Trek keep going into the past. I'm a bit more. I know Discovery have just completely bombed that by going too far in the future and making a really crap series, but. We've gone back with Discovery. We've gone back with Strange New Worlds. We've gone back with Enterprise. I don't think we need to kind of go back anymore. However, You're absolutely right. There's a lot of TNG backstory that would make great episodes, and I wonder if, I do wonder if they could do maybe a couple of films. You could make a great like pre-TNG film. Like about early Picard and Jack Crusher getting killed, and I think that that'd be worth doing. But I think kind of the whole delving into the past thing, I think that's been overdone now, at least for the moment.
Because early Picard, you would have the opportunity for people like when Picard's on command of the Stargazer, you would have people like Benjamin Sisko going through the Academy at that sort of point.
Well, Gary's just had a cracking idea. So, aboard the Riker's Beard, I'm in charge of temporal violations. So I've always been very up for this. I think that's a great. I think there was a rumor that many moons ago that Jerry Ryan might be doing this as part of her story arc from Voyager, being recruited by Temporal Investigations again. They're making a series out of that, kind of like a Star Trek Quantum Leap, or that'd be pretty cool. I like the idea of that, Gary. That's very good.
We have seen a picture of Seven of Nine in costume from season 3 of Picard now, and she appears to be a Starfleet commander in that. So they've teed her up that potentially she could have her own spin-off moving forward. She could, for example, be in charge of the Stargazer, seeing as Rios, and spoilers here if you haven't seen Picard Season 2, Rios has remained behind in the 21st century.
In complete violation of all his training and temporal guidance. It's just shocking.
Ended up getting killed in a bar fight, no less.
Do you know when we found out about that? The first thing I thought of, that wonderful film from Stephen King's The Body, Stand By Me, where you find out that River Phoenix's character was killed in a bar fight later on from the author. I'm sure they must have done that as a nod. That was fantastic. He was a very similar kind of nice guy trying to break up a fight in a bar. Game of Thrones style, but about the Klingon Empire.
Oh, no. I think we could have one set on a colony where all these people live next to each other.
Everybody needs good neighbors.
And Richard, you could do the accents.
Oh well, hold on. James could be onto something. Let's be honest. Brent Spiner finds a way to shoehorn himself into everything. Maybe it could be the songs, and it could be the creation of data from,
Would Bouncer be a Targ?
Yes, that would be perfect.
Colonization? Star Trek colonization? What was the planet? Our friend David Warner. What was the planet he was
Nimbus
in
3.
charge? Nimbus 3. So that's when
Yeah.
they had lots of different, all trying to build the story of Nimbus 3. That might make a good show. Wouldn't quite be neighbours, but
If someone were to dial in, Richard, from Nimbus 3, what would you say to them?
G'day, mate.
There you go.
But in all seriousness, do you recall the wonderful Deep Space Nine episode where they went to the planet that shot them forward into the future?
Betazoid wedding planners.
Yes.
Like with Martin Short out of Father of the Bride, you'd have to have his character in there as well.
But you have Martin Short, you've got to have Steve Martin as well.
Absolutely.
They come with a pair.
We've got to get them involved.
Do you recall the DS9 episode where they were shot? The planet was shot into the past, and you had the Klingon colony that was living there, and the descendants of Dax that were living there.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So that was kind of like how would you get on? I thought it was very interesting the way that the Klingons lived apart, but were still part of the community and stuff like that. It could be something in that. Betazoid wedding planner.
Well, like I say, that's Martin Short's character from Father Frank.
Yeah.
From Father of the Bride.
I'll be in the gym.
So have we reached the end of this year of Star Trek? Because we were promised.
Yes, there's nothing currently out, as far as I can think. I think we've run out at the end of Strange New Worlds.
Apparently, apart from pickup, Strange New Worlds is wrapped for season 2 already, and the cast are really excited by it. And they're very happy with it.
Oh, okay. So,
well, I hate dead air.
Terry Metalis has been going a bit mental on Twitter, giving away secrets for Picard season 3. Picard season 3.
Share some secrets with us, Dan. Share them.
Apparently,
Tell me, James, how many lights do you see?
There are 4 lights, Richard. 4.
Well,
So flashing picture frames.
We'll talk about this next week. We are going to now, at this point, play the amazing interview that was given.
You're not going to tell us some secrets from Terry Matalas?
No.
He's going to read those while your interview plays, so that you can tell us afterwards.
Just tease us with them.
Next week. Content for next week.
Okay.
Well, in which case, are we going to run the film and then that's Let's Talk Trek?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
Okay. It was fantastic, first of all, to see all three of you, because we haven't been together on the show for too long for so many different reasons. It was fantastic, the amount of people that tuned in to watch the show. It's wonderful that you all still tune in, and thank you so much for, like Terry Wogan, our viewers are our show, so thanks for dropping in and your comments. It's absolutely fantastic. And just remember, October 1st, RikerCon. There will be a quiz, a film competition, a midget with night vision. If you want to book a hotel room at the Oak Hotel, quote, beam me up, Scotty, for your discount.
There'll be photo ops and a wet t-shirt competition.
And broadcasting legend Steve Wright.
What?
Who?
That's it. So let's roll VT.
How many lights do you see?
There are 4 lights.
Hello, everyone. So I have the absolute privilege and honour of having the opportunity for a word with David Warner this afternoon. David, from the point of view of our Star Trek interest, has appeared in 2 of the main feature films, The Final Frontier, as I think it was St. John Talbot, the way it was.
Yes, St. John Talbot.
And the second time as Chancellor Gorkon in The Undiscovered Country. Comes to a sticky end. And my favourite, of course, as Gul Madred, the Cardassian Gul who interrogates and tortures Captain Picard in Chain of Command. So, David, first of all, talking about the movies, if I may, which was your favourite, and can you tell us a little bit about working on them?
Well, any job, that's pleasant is my favourite at the time. So, I mean, people seem to remember Chancellor Gorkon. I had a good part in Star Trek V, but a lot of that ended up on the cutting room floor, which happens to, actors of my grade, really. If you're playing a good supporting part, sometimes it becomes less good because they can't fit everything in. It was a pleasant experience to film, but Gorkon was a 3-hour makeup. That was the only problem. But I had Christopher Plummer sitting in the seat next to me, so that was fine. And also the director, Nicholas Meyer, I had worked with before on a film called Time After Time. I think I was quite surprised to be invited to be in Star Trek VI. They must have forgotten I was in Star Trek V.
Yes, different roles in consecutive films, unusual.
Yes, I couldn't quite understand how that happened.
Well, they must have been so impressed with you in 5 that they wanted you back in a far bigger role in 6.
Okay, well, I'll buy that. Yes, okay.
And in 5, actually, the character you play, St. John Talbot, is a very sort of disillusioned diplomat, isn't he? He's on Nimbus 3, saying, the dream of peace died here years ago. And he changes a lot during the course of that film, doesn't he?
Well, yes, but I think you'll find that he just really ends up by standing on the bridge of the Enterprise, watching what's going on, which is fine. I mean, but the actual character wasn't actually developed, or wasn't, you didn't see that in the film. But that's the way it goes, that's showbiz.
And Gorkon, he was also a very interesting character because he was not like any other Klingon that we'd met before. He wanted to sue for peace.
That's what I was told. I mean, I hadn't watched much Star Trek at all before I did it, so I really didn't know about the Klingons. That I was told, of course, when I was preparing for it, that they were really rather evil creatures, and that he was, a cross between Gorbachev and Lincoln, actually, with the beard and all and the stuff.
And let's turn to Gul Madred.
Now, you said that was your favourite. Why?
Well, The Next Generation is my favourite of the series, but you, as a baddie, get to really chew the scenery, don't you? And you're opposite Patrick Stewart, and you're so sinister. Tell us about playing the role.
Well, I took it at short notice. Somebody fell ill, and so I had 3 days to kind of prepare. I couldn't prepare for it. I couldn't learn it. And Patrick I had worked with in theatre before, Stratford-on-Avon, years ago. So it was great to work with him again. And when I worked with him, he wasn't a star. And of course, when I worked with him, he was a big star. So it was great to have that chance. But I couldn't learn the lines in time. And there's a lot of dialogue. Yes. So that there were I have no problem telling people this. They wrote all the lines up for me so that I wouldn't hold them up by forgetting them all the time. So it was a wonderful experience to be part of it, and they tell me it's quite a good episode.
It's a hugely popular episode. It's very, very good on numerous levels, and your performance, of course, as one of them.
Well, it was a good part.
Mr. Warner, thank you so much for your time.
I need to say this because I enjoy that interview so much, and James, we were brilliant as an interviewer, and David Warner was fantastic as the interviewee, but he drops you such a hook there that I think you were Star Trek. You didn't. I still think to this day you've not quite picked up on when he says, "You tell me that's your favorite. Why?
Why?
Those golden mech on you," and you didn't pick up on it at all. He really dropped that for you. It was great. But you did a stunning job of that interview, James. It really was brilliant. It's so professional.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Some years ago now, gosh, how time flies.
That was 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folkestone Comic Con was a great event. Actually, a real shame that they don't do that anymore. And the same with Sci-Fi by the Sea.
Yeah, well, local events. I have a feeling that there'll be kind of these events will come back, but it's going to be a few years, you know.
I heard it was superseded by the superior RikerCon.
Well, yes, David Warner's going to be appearing at RikerCon via a clairvoyant.
I see you lurking in the comments, Sarah Jennings. You better be coming to RikerCon. Yes, you. I see you.
It's going to be fantastic, RikerCon.
RikerCon is, of course, just to be clear to anyone who may be thinking of coming, it's really just a social get-together. We throw up the set. We've got a private bar space to hang out in. And we'll just make it fun, just like it used to be back at Page's Bar back in the day.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have high-profile guests or anything booked that you come and pay anything for. I mean,
Jonathan
free,
Frakes.
just come and hang out with us.
Jonathan Frakes will be there, but
Jonathan Frakes has, of course, been
it's just going to be a quiz. I think all of the Trekkie girls, or at least a good 70% of the Trekkie girls, are coming, and we'll be auctioning them off.
In the most recent development,
Yeah,
We will be taking pre-auction bids in sealed bids. So
not before I've extracted my DNA samples.
I bid 4 Barrowmans.
Yes, if anybody has anything in particular that you want to see at RikerCon or you want to contribute to RikerCon, do DM us. Let us know.
Yeah, I mean the film competition I think is going to be a big hit. No more than 2 minutes long, no more than £10 budget. If you can format it in MP4, and we'll throw out some details where to send it to, and we'll make it like a big kind of Oscars night. I think we'll have
We're also going to do a couple of features from this show live as well. So James will be doing booze reviews for you live in front of people.
Yeah, we're doing that. Another feature, I think. Are we going to do the? Yeah, we're going to do this one live. Depending on how much alcohol, really.
You're going to get us thrown in Facebook jail. There may be a giant waving cat.
Victoria is bidding for Sarah because she can clean your kids' rooms. Genuinely, I'd do that. I enjoy cleaning and sorting and throwing stuff away. I'll do that for free. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, should I? No, I'll do that if you bid for me for 100 Barrowmans.
I'm bidding for Richard to come and do all my ironing.
Oh, please. Please.
We'll pay you.
I'll be in heaven. I've got a new cordless iron. Oh, it's so good. It's a Beldray one. Oh, it's just lovely.
Well, hang on. Wait a second. Cordless, tell us more.
Yeah, so I got a cordless iron. I looked into cordless irons about sort of 5 years ago, but the charge rate of the lithium battery wasn't good enough. I tend to iron a bit quicker than your average mortal, so I thought I'd have to return it to the base far too much. But a new one's got with a better battery, and so I return it and then straight on there, and it's enough.
High pressure
They're
steam.
not as good as a corded one, of course, but when you come to do your linen, when you're doing your duvets and your stuff like that,
No, Richard, we don't do duvets.
you don't iron your duvets.
We don't do
Oh
duvets.
my God, you sleep in a creased bed. Me. Oh, how do you do it?
Surely a steam generator is a much better.
An iron is it's a steam iron. Do you not have a steam iron? Do you still have an iron like over the fireplace that you heat up?
No. I'll find you a picture of what I mean.
You've got to hold it with a cloth. And
This does remind me that Trev and Simon are friends of the show. We must invite them to come to RikerCon because Trev, rather,
He lives down the road from us.
Yes, he's local. He's a really nice chap, and you can swing your pants with him.
Who irons duvets? Civilized people.
Okay, let me.
Again, civilized people. Who wouldn't iron their socks?
Okay.
I'll tell you what, Richard, I'm probably going to go to court tomorrow morning, and I'm not going to iron my socks.
Okay, here we go. Richard,
What,
I'm on
you don't iron your formal socks?
Something like this.
Yeah, so these are pretty good. But you'll
Welcome
notice.
to Let's Talk Ironing, the
you'll
UK's
notice
almost
it's still called
Sunday
this
evening
is the
ironing
issue.
show.
Yeah, so these are pretty good. If you're doing bulk ironing, these are a must-have because obviously you're not constantly putting water in to help them. But if you
Look how
iron
happy
every day
that is
like
with
I
this
do,
deep
because I
line.
love
Can
it
you
so
see?
much, it's not required. But the problem is it's corded, and when you are ironing something like a complicated or like a fitted sheet, I mean, good God, who enjoys ironing a fitted? Well, I enjoy ironing a fitted sheet. It's a challenge. It's the biggest challenge of my ironing week, ironing a fitted sheet. A cordless iron you cannot beat.
I think I might have to take your word on that one, Richard.
It's astonishing how our viewer figure has now dropped.
£429.
Oh, nice. Can you have an iron in the shape of a Starfleet Delta?
I'm sure you could.
It wouldn't iron very evenly, though, obviously.
No, but it'd be good for branding your clothing with.
Or indeed your buttocks.
Probably have to pass on that one.
BBC. This evening, steam irons. Well, I think, dear viewer, that's about all the time we've got.
Yeah, we seem to have exhausted all of our topics there now.
Yeah, our usual repertoire. So one last time, James.
Congratulations, ladies, on winning the association football, though.
One last time, then, James. How many lights do you see?
There are 4 lights. 4.
It's not going to get old, is it?
No.
Not for me.
Richard, was it worth moving your entire office around for?
It was. Do you know it was because before, because I work from home, and before I would do my ironing in my master bedroom, where I have a large television on my lunch break and such forth. Now I've moved this all around. I can do my ironing in here, which is just so much nicer. It's more convenient for me.
Right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching, all.
Look after
If you have
yourselves.
any questions about ironing, do feel free to message us, and we'll get back to you.
Look after yourselves and each other.
Don't have nightmares.
Well, I thought that went rather well. That's one of our
it's
better
still on.
shows. Yeah.
You press the big red button, Dan.
I thought you pressed it.